Today's tutorial is going to be talking about Powtoon. It's a fun and creative way to create presentations, videos, or slideshows to present information to your students, or to take it a step further and have your students present the information. Sign up for free or log in if you already have an account. Log in or sign up with Google and you're ready to go. And as you can see, I've already created a couple of Powtoons. They're really cool animated presentations to deliver your content to your students when they're in a blended learning rotation. And it's also a great way for your students to showcase their own learning. So let's take a look at how it works. To the right of your screen, you're going to see some handy tips on how to get started with a Powtoon. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a script so that you know what content you want to teach your students and how you want to deliver it. Powtoon has a great video along with the step 1 to teach you the best ways to write your script. Step 2 is to record your voiceover, and step 3, you add your visuals. As always, they have a short tutorial that you can watch for each of these steps. So let's stop talking about it and let's just get to it. Let's go ahead and create a new Powtoon. We're going to go ahead and click Create. When I click on Create, I come to a library of pre-made templates, or I could start from scratch. For this tutorial, let's go ahead and create a teacher introduction. If I click on this template, it'll show up down here so I can see what it looks like and decide whether or not I want to use it. I want to use this one, so I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. So as you can see, the templates popped up. It looks very familiar to most of us because it has the slides here. That reminds me of PowerPoint or Google Slides. And you can see all the different scenes that you're going to be creating. So to the right, you can see that you have layouts and the background and text and the library and objects, graphs, sound, and images. These are all your tools. Down here, you're going to see all the features that are on this slide. So if I click on the woman, you're going to see a box shows up around her because I can swap her, and that means I can change her character. So maybe I want her to look a little more like me. So I can click on the characters and a bunch of different will show up. So maybe I think this girl looks more like me. I can choose her and then she's going to go ahead and be in my Powtoon. Or if I don't think she looks like me at all, I can search all styles and more will pop up. I'm going to go ahead and keep her, and I think I want to flip her around so that she's facing the other way. Okay, now I can make her bigger or smaller, and I can bring her up so that I can see her whole body. And you can play around with that and shift it around as you want. Okay, there she is. Okay, so I have that done, and I can move on to the next. I'm going to go ahead and type my name in here. I'm going to go ahead and type Mrs. Ownby, and I'm all set. Another cool action I can do with this character is I can change what they're doing. So if I click on the running man, I can have my character waving hello. I can have them being happy or getting an idea. Let's take a look, and we can play the whole thing, and we can see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. So now we're on to the next slide, and what you're going to notice is it reverted back to the original girl. So we're going to go ahead and have to change her again. So once I click on her, I'm going to go ahead and swap her out again, and I'm going to choose from one of the characters, same one, and I'm going to position her to match the one from the slide before. So I'm going to make her smaller, and I'm going to bring her up to about the same spot, and then I'm going to flip-flop her, and she's roughly in the same place that she was in the previous slide. There you go. Perfect. All the text is customizable, so if I don't like what it says, I can change it up. If I wanted to change the font, I could change that as well. So I could totally click on one of these, and then I can change the way the text looks. I can type in it, and I can make it mine. I can also change the layout as I'm working. So even though I've already done a couple slides and I decide, ooh, I don't really like this layout, I can find a different one and I can swap it out. The same goes for the background as well. I could change the background and I could make it a classroom, or I could change it to a different color. Powtoon has a ton of options, so you're never stuck with just one type of template. Let's skip ahead to, let's say, slide 5. On slide 5, they already have there for you a ton of objects, but I want to show you they have so many that you can include in your Powtoon. They have text, they have shapes, they have lines, they have arrows, and that's just the beginning. Let's say I wanted to add another computer in here. I'm going to go ahead and search for computer and see what pops up. So you see I have some other options. Some of them are locked and they're only available in the premium version, but there's still plenty to choose from in the free version. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'm going to add, this one looks good. I'm going to add this one and it's going to pop up into my Powtoon. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and move it and resize it a little bit, play with that. Now what you're going to see is it's going to show up in my slide at wherever my arrow was in my timeline. Okay, so I have options with this. I can make it come in sooner, so I might want it where all these other items are. And then I can make it show up in various ways. It can appear, it can come down, up, left, right, no effect, or it can fade. I have it pop right in, and you can see that it's here. When I click on this, I can see where I have it in here. I can make this slide last longer, or I can delete seconds from this slide if I feel like it's a little too long. So you can customize the time, and that's especially helpful when you're trying to time your voiceover with it. If you go to sound, you see you have some choices. Let's look at the soundtrack. And as you can see, they already have a library of choices. You can look through the different genres. And let's talk about voiceover. The easiest way to go about that is to record your voiceover slide by slide. That way you can see the content and you can see your timing. And you have two options for that. You can record it straight into Powtoon, or you can use an outside source like Audacity to record your voiceover and then upload it into Powtoon. Either way, you can add your voiceover slide by slide so that you get the timing just right. So it looks like we're ready to sort of save and export. Let me go ahead and title it. And I'm going to title it Introduction. Save it just to be safe, and then let's go ahead and preview this. And if it looks good, you can go ahead and export it, or if you want to continue editing, you can go ahead and click continue editing. Okay, so here are your options of where you can publish to. You can obviously publish it to your Powtoons, and then you can upload it to Vimeo or YouTube. I typically just go ahead and upload it to YouTube. The only downfall is because we don't have the paid version, we can't just download it as an MP4. We have to upload it to either Vimeo or YouTube. I went ahead and chose to publish to my Powtoons. And so now I have some options. I can add a description or add a tag. And I can choose a category. I already have education linked here. And I don't have a choice about privacy when I have a free account. It has to be public. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that public and click next. Since I don't have the premium version, I have to show the watermark, and I can only save it in a standard 480, and I'm going to go ahead and export to Powtoon. And now my introduction Powtoon is saved in my Powtoon library. I can share it right from here by copying the link, or I could post it to Vimeo or YouTube now or anytime in the future to share it with my students, whether I use Google Classroom or a website or anywhere I share my content online. If I want to use it in the future but something has changed, I can always go back into my Powtoon library and I can edit this Powtoon to make it relatable whenever I need to use it again. So there's a quick overview of Powtoon. There's so much to explore. My advice is to just sit down and play a little and see what works for you. This is such a powerful tool for your students to showcase the information that they've learned in your class, and it's also a great way to present information to your students in a blended learning rotation. It's highly engaging. They love the animation, and especially if you combine voiceover, they really connect with the information. So go ahead and try it out in your own classroom. Let me know how it goes.